Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? So I'm here to do another little heavy haul today. Uh, Usually I don't talk very much on my videos, but I got something on my mind and I want to talk to you guys about it, especially if any of you all are looking at becoming truck drivers. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about my truck right here. It's a Peterbilt 379. I have it scratched out a little bit. Got the big 8-inch stacks on it. Any of you all know engine sounds, you know that my truck is has a cat livery on it. But if you hear the engine, you all know that that's the Cummins. So I know it's a little ironic, but I thought it sounded good. I have a RGN connected to it with a booster axle on the back. I have a lift axle on my trailer, for my tractor. I need to go ahead and drop it and get my beacons running. Looks like everything is good. Get some lights on. But I want to talk to y'all about the difference in what being a lease purchase driver is versus a owner operator. This is a pretty heavy load. I gotta think. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 106,000 pounds. Headed up to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Let's get out of here and get rolling. Anyway, what I want to talk about is the difference in being a lease purchase driver and an owner op. So the reason I want to talk about this is I was at a truck stop a couple days ago. I'm a truck driver in real life, and there was a young guy there. Looked like he had just got into the business, maybe, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so. But he was talking that he was talking about that he was a owner op, all this money he was gonna be making and everything. And so we got to talking to him more, and we found out, well, he's actually a lease purchase driver. Now, I'm not one of the drivers that try to, you know, shit on anybody's dream, but I'm a realist too. So myself and some of the older drivers were trying to talk to him, let him know what being a lease purchase driver really entails. There's a lot of traffic out here. I don't think there's another way to get on the highway. I guess I can go back up and get on up there. I think that's what I do. Anyway, and so while we were explaining to him, he kind of started to get what we were saying, and he didn't really like what he was hearing. So let me tell you all before you all get out there and lease a truck and it doesn't quite work out the way that you think it's going to. So a lease purchase is exactly what it says it is. You're just leasing the truck, and at the end of the lease you have the opportunity to buy it. So it may be you know, a balloon buyout, it may be a $1 buyout, it may not be a buyout at all if you complete it. And that's the key word though. If you are able to finish the lease. So the way lease purchases work is that you contact the company that may be doing a lease purchase. They tell you all the goodies about how you're going to be an owner op and you're going to be able to pick all of your own loads and go where you want to go, and you know, all the bells and whistles of what they know you want to hear. They've been doing this a long time, okay? The reason I know this is because I got suckered into this when I was a new driver, and just figured out that hey, it's not exactly what they say it is. So normally they have newer trucks. Actually, what's funny is that's the company that got me right there. So I'm not gonna mention any names, but you see who's crossing the intersection right now with the day cab? That's who got me. Anyhow, uh, so it works. Normally they have newer trucks, and what has happened is that they have bought those trucks on credit. They buy them from the manufacturer most of the time, and when they buy them, somebody has to pay for them. Okay, or let me back up. Maybe they haven't bought them. Maybe they're on lease from the manufacturer, and they want somebody to pay for them. So they find guys like us that are just learning the game. Say, hey, yeah, man, you'll be an owner op, and we'll run you that way, and this is how much you'll make a mile. Normally, it's some minimum amount per mile plus your fuel surcharge, really, which really doesn't help you out very much. And they get you in the truck. Most of the times, you don't know what to look for when you're buying the truck. Um, if it's an older vehicle, most of the time you don't really know what you need to look for. It's not like they're going to let you take the truck to an outside vendor to make sure that it's good to go. So you get in it, and they start running you. You're like, hey man, this is way better than being a company driver. I get a chance to pick my own loads or pick from a few loads that they offer to you. And you say, hey, I'm making way more money than I was as a company driver. Kinda. You're kinda making more money. But you have to pay for your own fuel. You have all of the maintenance costs on you. Most of the time they're going to make you have a maintenance account that you're putting a certain number of cents per mile into Mr. Gear, certain number of cents per mile into a maintenance account. You have to pay for your insurances, bobtail, cargo insurance. Most of the time they'll pay for your plate, but you're putting in on that also. So normally they throw out a number like, hey, you can make 180,000 a year. But what they haven't mentioned is all of the overhead that you have. Okay. Of course, the fuel, all of your insurances, maintenance. There are just a laundry list of other payments that you have to make on top of the truck note. And normally your truck note is going to be something outrageous. They'll tell you, hey, you can pay it off in 36 months. You can, pay it off in 48 months. And normally there's a weekly payment. So let's say if your truck is, you have weekly payments of, $600-700 a week, and you're paying that for, 4 years, 5 years. But let's just do easy math. Let's say if your truck is $600 a month, $600 a week. You do the math, right? That's $2,400 a month just in the truck note. And they're going to get their money regardless. If you make any money or not, they're still going to get their money. So sometimes you could go home and say, hey, I'm going to go home for 3 days. When you come back out, you're going to be in the hole. Alright? Especially if you go home at like the end of a pay period. Uh, when the money is withdrawn that week, they'll take what they can off your last load. If you haven't made enough, it's going to be gone. You come back, you're in the hole. So your first maybe 1 or 2 loads, hey, you may not make very much because they're going to get what they need as far as the payment and the insurance is on there. Okay, so then let's just say you say, hey, I'm going to keep doing this. You know, I want to own this truck. I've been trucking a long time, like 15 years. I only know about 5 people that have actually gotten the truck after the lease, because it's just not really designed for you to win. Okay, it's really designed for the company to win. Not saying that you can't. I know there are going to be some drivers in the comments that's going to tell me, hey man, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, I got my truck. Well, that's great, man. But I know a lot of people that haven't. There are some companies out here that even have a daily rate. They charge you a daily rate to have the truck. For example, I'm going to mention a company that I know quite well, Dart Transit. You see them running down the road on the back of their trucks. They'll say, you know, you can get paid the same day, settle the same day, because they're charging you a daily rate. When I went through Dart, probably about it's been well more than, you know, probably 12 years ago now. When I went through Dart, they offered a daily rate. They had a program where the trucks were $9.98 a month. Okay, which doesn't sound too bad. First, they're used trucks. Normally, they're going to be really high mileage. First truck I got was a 2005 Freightliner Columbia. It had 468,000 miles on it when I got it, but they were only charging $9.98 a month on the actual truck note. But like I mentioned, you have a lot of other expenses that you have to pay, and so you know, you're not making really big money. I think I was on their Walmart dedicated. Walmart dedicated was $1.05 a mile on all miles, and plus the fuel surcharge. Back then, the fuel surcharge was maybe, you know, 28 cent, you know, 30 cents, 32 cents, something like that. So, you know, you may be making $1.37 a mile or something like that. You can't make it on $1.37 a mile. All right, especially not at the fuel prices that, you know, that they are now. Even the fuel prices then, you know, you still, you know, you're not going to be able to make it. And if you try to, you pretty much have to just stay out. Okay, like it is no going home. You just have to stay in the truck. Okay, so that's just a little insight on being a lease purchase. Now, owner operator, I've owned my own truck also. Owner op, it's a little bit different. That means that you have your own equipment. Get over. You have your own equipment, your own tractor, maybe your own trailer, and you get a little bit more freedom. You're not indebted to the company that you work for. You really can say what you will and won't do. Depends on who you are leased on to. If you're leased on to anyone, let's say if you're leased on to someone, you can say, hey, you know, this is what I run per mile. You know, this is what I need to operate. And most times, you know, you can get that. A lot of the big carriers that have mostly owner operators, your Landstar, Bennett, Mercer, those guys, they have freight boards, they have brokers that you really work with, and you tell them like, hey, this is what I run per mile, this is the type of loads I want to run. Or if you pick your own loads off the board, you pick what you want. you know Now you still have all of the same expenses, your fuel, your insurances, all of that, but you're making a lot more money and you have a lot more freedom. I appreciate it, Mr. Carr. Appreciate it back there. And some of y'all are probably wondering why I'm running so slow right now, but I got a lot of weight back there behind me. As you can see, it's a lot of weight. It's like 106,000 pounds. Like I said, that's about 53 tons. Actually, we're about to get an actual weight here in a second, so you'll know exactly how heavy I am. Man, the Jakes on this Commons sounds great. Let's see what we'll weigh when we come across this. £160,000. That's heavy. It's 80 tons. I've done some heavy hauling in real life. You have to be really careful when you're starting out with this much weight. Really easy to burn up your clutch. Anyway, back to the owner operator thing. If you're looking to have your own, your own truck, I personally would not recommend lease purchases. Like I said before, there are going to be some drivers in here that's going to come in and they're going to, as my wife say, drag me for filth. But it's just, being a lease purchase driver really isn't the way you want to do it. Okay. So, you can take that for what it is, I guess. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can leave them down in the comment area and I'll respond. And honestly, if you've been driving a while, you all will know that there are some company drivers that are making more than owner operators out there. Actually, a lot more. I remember when I was younger, the companies would tell you, hey, you'll make, one company told me, hey, you'll be making 210,000 a year. No, the truck will be making 210,000 a year. You'll be grossing 210 a year. Okay? You aren't netting that in the house. And I didn't even mention, I forgot to mention earlier, don't forget the taxes. You have your taxes to pay also. Okay, yeah, you can write off a lot. You can write off the truck note, write off anything you use for the truck, your tires, maintenance, pencils, pens, socks, whatever you use while you're on the road on your Schedule C. But just remember that you got to put that away too. Is what I like, my rule of thumb, my CPA, for every $1,000 you make, you try to put away at least $250, $300 for every $1,000 that you make, just for taxes. Mind you, those have to be paid quarterly.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
Damn, man, I got a roundabout you gotta go around. This is crazy. Boy, you'll tear something up over here, boy. Get down to lower gear. Got a lot of weight. Turn that damn Jake off, boy. Try not to get up on their concrete too much. This weight, boy, you'll definitely break
Take
through
the
it.
exit now.
Sorry, I got a little quiet there. Y'all had to get through. They had to do a little
At the
concentration.
roundabout, take the first exit. Take the exit now.
Boy, it get dark fast, don't it? Can't see nothing. Let's get back down into the cab.
Keep left. Then turn left. Turn left. In 50 feet, turn
Sure, you always look both ways and don't shift going across the tracks. But yeah, that was just the information I wanted to give you all. It's just a little bit of, just a little something, you know what I mean? But if you have more questions, I could definitely give you some more information. I'm not saying that I know it all, but I know a lot from being out here so long. So thanks for coming on the ride with me.